Whether you believe in ghosts or not, there is no denying that Great Britain has some of the most haunted locations in the world. Britain has a deep and dark history of war, turbulence and conflict, so it's no wonder the country is scattered with hundreds of haunted locations. Here are some of the most haunted places in the United Kingdom. The Tower of London. During its 900 years of existence, the Tower of London has earned the reputation of being one of the most haunted places in the United Kingdom. It was built in 1078 by William the Conqueror. The tower was used as a fortress, palace, and an infamous prison. Kings and conquerors believed in order to control the country, the tower must be controlled first. For over 800 years, men and women have arrived at the tower uncertain of their fate. Elizabeth I, Lady Jane Grey, Sir Walter Raleigh, and Guy Fawkes were all sent to the tower. There has been many reports of the paranormal in the Tower of London over the years. The most famous case is the spirit of Anne Boleyn. Anne Boleyn was the wife of Henry VIII. Anne Boleyn's ghost has been seen on numerous occasions at the Tower of London. Her headless body has been seen walking the tower's corridors. It is said her ghost also haunts the place of her death, where she was executed. In 1864, a soldier who was on duty claimed to have seen Anne Boleyn in the form of a ghostly white figure. She was moving towards the soldier. The soldier, thinking she was not real, charged at her with a weapon to warn her off. As the soldier charged at the ghostly figure, he went through her and was in complete shock because he'd just seen a ghost. He fainted on duty because of how terrified he was. Anne Boleyn is not the only ghost that haunts the Tower of London. In 1483, King Edward IV died, leaving behind his two sons, Richard and Edward V, to inherit the crown. Richard and Edward V were both very young, therefore they couldn't take the crown until they were a certain age. Edward IV's brother, Richard III, was crowned king to rule until one of the boys was old enough to become the king. However, instead of looking after and protecting the two boys, Richard III had an evil plan. He imprisoned both the boys in the Tower of London under his complete control, and no one had the power to stop him. Eventually, the boys just disappeared. It was almost like they never existed. Nearly 200 years later, two small skeletons were found. It was concluded they were the bones of children. Mary Ryan, who was a visitor, was taking snaps of weapons on display at the Tower of London. But when she got home, she noticed a strange face in one of her pictures. It was believed to be the face of one of the princes. The Hampton Court Palace. Built in 1514 by Cardinal Wolsey, Henry VIII loved and adored the palace so much, he took it for himself and his wives. Catherine Howard, Henry's fifth wife, is said to haunt the palace. There's even an entire corridor called the Haunted Gallery because of the frequent sightings of her ghost. Catherine Howard was arrested on the grounds of adultery and treason. She ran screaming down the corridor trying to find Henry VIII and beg for her life. Henry ignored Catherine begging for her life, and she was dragged by the palace guards to where she was interrogated. Catherine Howard was executed on the 13th of February 1542 at the Tower of London. It's believed Catherine may have been as young as 17 when she died. Over the years, many visitors and members of staff have reported hearing screams, feeling the chills, and some people have even fainted while visiting the Haunted Gallery. In 1999, two different women on separate tours fainted in exactly the same spot in the Haunted Gallery on the same day. 10 years later, the gallery was redecorated, and according to a ghost tour guide, there are fewer people fainting and feeling dizzy in the Haunted Gallery. Back in 2003, a ghostly figure made international news when a CCTV footage captured a rather unusual overnight happening at the Hampton Court Palace. Take a look at the footage. It's quite scary and very unusual. Over the 3 nights, CCTV recorded the same fire door. Security staff witnessed the door opening and no one was there. But on the second night, a ghostly white figure in a dress opens and closes the door. Sheffield Mallet Prison. Sheffield Mallet Prison is Britain's oldest and most haunted prison. It is recognised as one of the most haunted prisons in the world. The prison opened in 1625. It held men, women and children in dreadful conditions. It was reported that prisoners who went in healthy changed to being emaciated in a few short months. Many prisoners have been executed at Sheffield Mallet Prison, which explains why the prison is so haunted. The prison is so haunted that staff members who previously worked there stated they will not go anywhere near the prison again because of how terrified they are. Private Lee Davis is one of the ghosts that are said to haunt the prison. He was executed for rape and murder on December 1943. One prison tour guide even claims to have been burned by a cigarette while taking a tour one night. He had just been talking about Private Lee Davis and executions when he felt a burning sensation on his hand. It developed into what looked like a cigarette burn. He does not lock up alone anymore. The infamous Cray twins are also said to haunt the prison. The Cray twins were sent to Sheffield Mallet Prison after avoiding their national service. Two women claim they caught the ghostly hand of Britain's most notorious gangsters on camera while taking a selfie in the Cray's old prison cell. As you can see from the selfie, it's very strange and quite unsettling. The two women that took the picture stated there was no one there with them in that cell when they took the selfie. Bury Pomeroy Castle. Bury Pomeroy Castle has been abandoned for over 300 years. The best known ghost here is the White Lady. The White Lady is believed to be the ghost of Margaret Pomeroy. Margaret Pomeroy died of starvation imprisoned in this dungeon. Her sister locked her up because she was jealous that they were both in love with the same man. Many visitors have heard footsteps and felt her presence. There have also been sightings of a blue lady at the castle. The blue lady is believed to be the ghost of a young maiden who was raped by her father. When she gave birth to his child, she killed it so she didn't have to live her life in shame. The blue lady is frequently seen and is extremely evil. Many visitors try to avoid the blue lady if she is seen. Here are some of the pictures by visitors that visited the castle. Whether you believe they're real or not is up to you. Pendle Hill. In the summer of 1612, 12 people from Pendle in Lancashire were accused of witchcraft and imprisoned. 10 of them were sentenced to death after being found guilty of performing witchcraft. Witchcraft was made illegal in England in 1563. English people at this time were very religious and felt that witches were very anti-Christian. Not only did people believe that witches were real, they were also terrified of them. The ghosts of the witches are now said to haunt Pendle Hill. It is thought the spirits are restless because of their unfair executions. Christine, who was a visitor, was taking pictures in Pendle Hill when she came across a photo that is said to be the ghost of a 9-year-old girl who was executed for witchcraft. If you liked this video, please give me a like. Also, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe so that way you don't miss out on my content.